Ahoy, crew! Welcome back to Tales from the Ship, the only podcast featuring total strangers and their stories, brought to you from on board and at sea. As usual, before we set sail, the news. First Mate Steph and myself will be recording a few special episodes on land this weekend from the annual rally at Camp Margaritaville Resort in mainland Florida. Look for those in the near future. Don't forget, we will be hopping back on board the wonderful MSC Seashore for our next voyage, seeking new tales on the high seas. If you or someone you know is on that manifest, reach out and get in on the nautical nonsense. Now, let's talk about this week's guest. Still rolling with our series from the MSC World America, we sat down with Adir. Fascinating guy. He's on an adventure within an adventure. Adir recently finished his compulsory duty with the Israeli military and is currently in the wind on a cross-country trip in the USA. He took a break from his adventure to go on this cruise. He brought so much to this episode that it would be a crime to even try and summarize, so we're just going to get right into it. Please, enjoy. Is it on? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
No, not in your microphone, not in your headphone. Can you hear me without them? Because, watch. I don't know, maybe they were plugged in badly? Whatever, we'll give it a shot.
Solution to anything is plug unplug.
Audio. Cheap audio equipment, man, is what it is. Welcome to Tales from the Ship. What's your name?
My name is Adir.
Say that again?
Adir Solomon.
Adir?
A-D-I-R. Like,
okay.
Yeah, like when you see the animal, it's like, oh, Adir.
Yeah,
Exactly.
indeed. I'm Dan.
I'm Stephanie.
Dan and Stephanie. Nice to meet
Yes.
you guys.
Likewise. So tell us a little bit. What brought you? Did you just interested?
So basically, I don't usually do these kind of trips. It's more so something that I tend to do with my uncle. He just goes around all kind of cruises, and to get closer to the family. So what he does is just kind of invites parts of the family each time. And this time was my second time that he did that. Last time I was on Princess going to Norway for a week, and this time he invited me, my father, my brother, and my father's girlfriend to come on this boat, which is quite an interesting experience. I've learned that it builds family dynamics in a very good way if you let it.
Yeah. You also even feel more than encouraged to pick up the mic if you don't want to like hunch over and be in front of it.
That's a good advice. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, if you guys travel a lot, do you live in the States or do you live outside the States?
So I am actually probably just relocating to Portland in Oregon. I'm originally from Israel. My brother too. He moved to the to New Jersey about 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
And I'm actually currently on a big trip that I started in May, all across America. I came, as I told you before, I kind of came to a summer camp in America, did kind of pre-camp worked throughout all the summer as a general counselor with the kids and as a horse counselor. finished that, stayed a little bit over at the camp, which is, by the way, in Colorado. Finished there, took a flight to Seattle, bought a car, like a Subaru Outback 2015, kind of rebuilt it, prepped it up, bought a mattress, and now I'm traveling all across the U.S. with a car.
Oh, hell
That's
yeah.
amazing.
That's awesome.
You're living my dream.
Once you get to do it, you understand that it's there is pros and cons, but it's been a dream of mine for like a couple, I think, around 5 years, and it coming to actual being, it's crazy for me.
Well, I lived in my car once for a short period of time, but I was in a Walmart parking lot. So seeing beautiful places on
I did that once
rotation,
too.
that's an upgrade.
The thing with there's a lot of pros and cons of doing it in a car. The good thing is you can park in, I would say, like sometimes sketchier or just like places you wouldn't be able to do with a van. So sometimes it's amazing because I get to park in a beautiful place where I wouldn't be able to do with a caravan. But also sometimes like it helps me because I get to park in a Walmart parking lot and nobody says a thing.
Yeah, and Walmart parking lots they're underrated if you got to sleep in a vehicle because there's a bathroom. Back when Walmart was open 24 hours, back when I was homeless. So it was very easy. I got to use the bathroom in the middle of the night, or I'm thirsty. I just go inside and get what I need. I'm also a fan of, if you get a gym membership to Planet Fitness, it's like $20 a month, and you always have somewhere to shower. You can get a workout. You get a massage.
And people suggested it to me like crazy, like, okay, just do like a 1 year 24/7 Planet Fitness, and then you'll have all these kind of things for $20 a month with it, which is very worth it. Like usually a shower to buy like on the road will cost ranges from $3 to $15. So having
at a truck stop, truck stop showers.
Actually didn't know that. Random showers. There is actually, if you ever plan to do this kind of trip, there's an app called iOverlander, which helps you find a free kind of spots to park and sleep in, free shower spots, just called view spots. It's like a hidden gem that a random guy on the road kind of showed to me, and ever since I've been using it, and it's amazing.
That's cool.
That's amazing. I was a big fan of, I don't know if it's still a thing, but there was a network back in the day called couch surfing.
It still is.
It's still a thing?
It's I heard that people use it in the Far East, kind of to just get to know people, have a place to sleep, and it creates a lot of interesting experiences. I have this app. I haven't used it yet because I'm in my car, but I'm hoping one day just to do it to kind of get to know people. You know, it's an interesting experience.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm not joking when I say you're literally living my dream. Domestically, I grew up moving every 6 months my entire childhood, and I've lived in the same house now for 5 years, and I just stir crazy.
It's the funny thing, I was planning to do it for so many years, and I was in Israel. It's you have a mandatory service, so you got to serve for 3 years. And I had these big dreams before my service, and I was like, I'm gonna travel this and do that. I'm gonna buy a car and go all over. And I don't know what happened after my service. I was so locked in going and getting my stuff together and getting to work and like moving on my life that I kind of forgot to do that. And after some deployment we had, something hit me where I kind of forfeited my dreams and left everything behind to go and work and like to get my life together. And I remember one of my siblings caught me and told me like, hey, it seems like you're really stressed after your service. What's up? Like you have no responsibilities. You're in the most calm period of your life and you seem to be stressing a lot. And I told him, well, you know, I have big dreams. I want to get my life together. I gotta get it going. And he told me that direction is more important than speed. And so it's okay to stop for a moment, look around and choose your direction. And
great advice.
Yeah.
And it really hit me. And at that moment, I told myself, well, I didn't really do something for myself for a while. Like, for as much as I do love my country and I enjoy serving, because in the end of the day, like, as the word says, serving, I enjoy doing so. But it's been a while since I really put, like, something for myself and did something for myself. And I decided, well, I'm leaving everything behind, and I have like a lot of luxury at home, whether it's like living with my parents, I have a free scholarship, free friends, it's very comfortable. And another thing that I was told, comfortability kills dreams. And so I said, I'm throwing this all out. I'm leaving, and I bought like basically a one-way ticket and said, I'm going to travel. I don't know for how long. And everything kind of was building up towards everything that happened. I was not sure I'm going to actually do the car plan when I was at camp. And the further I got into my travel, the more I understood this is the thing for me. And so I kind of decided to go and really invest in myself, talk to people, try new things, just experience the world before I lock myself in that route that everybody takes, to really experience, talk to people, try out new things. I'm moving. I was not planning to relocate to Portland. It was just a random guy that I hosted at his house, and he said, well, I have an interesting company, and he told me, I don't like speaking. Come and sit in a job meeting and tell me what you think. Sat there for 3 hours. I was really impressed, and I decided, well, I'm currently 23-year-old. Actually, turned 23 on this ship.
Oh yeah!
Congratulations!
Yeah, thank you. And I decided, well, let's try it. This is part of the journey.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Go for it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Everything you're talking about is it's very in line. There's a YouTube channel, but there's a bigger thing that surrounds it. Have you ever heard of the Yes Theory?
The what?
Yes Theory.
I heard about it. I never really got into it, but basically like promoting, just go for it.
Their whole motto is seek discomfort. When you say comfortability kills dreams, that really resonates because it's very easy to just settle into being comfortable and miss out on. So the world is a very large place. And I don't get a lot of opportunity because I am fully settled into my comfortability.
Dangerous.
But like I don't get a lot of opportunity to speak to people who have that, like they're actually living that truth. So this is really great for me. Now, have you gone through or experienced any of like up until the point where you chose that to just live out there in the wind? Have you gone through that thing where like a lot of the things you learned growing up just kind of started to fall away?
Yes, like it actually started right before my service, which I think was the first time that I started thinking for my own. I was really walking in my family, the route that my family set for me, was listening to them mindlessly. And one day a bubble popped, and it was suddenly like I was taking off these shades where I could not see anything. And I said, wait, I was not living my life. And I was living what people told me I should. And suddenly I started listening to myself, and it came with a lot of hardships. Me going to service, I was also in combat service. My family was 100% against it, worrying something will happen to me. And they were putting a lot of pressure on me and telling me, well, if you do this, it will affect us this way. And just like, don't do it because it will promote you nowhere in life and all these kind of things. And I told them, well, even if you're right, it's a path which I choose for my own, and I'm taking what you're saying in consideration. But I took all the consideration and thought about it, and I'm still going to do it. And it is for you to support me and live with it wherever it will take me, because I chose it my path, and even if I fail, I'll fail in my own way, and this makes me happy. Also knowing what I am not is very important. And it led me losing friends, it led me to stray a little further away from my family, but eventually bringing me closer to them. And choosing my own path, and a lot of things deteriorated. By the way, also things which I thought were truth deteriorated over time, kind of constantly provoking thought in myself, challenging myself, putting myself in conversation with people such as now. And suddenly they bring up a good point, and it's we call it in Israel a coin drop moment, where you're like, oh, like a light bulb moment, as in English. And you can actually see me like, oh my God, like this just dropped on me. And I think also from this trip, there's a lot that I've come to realize, and I'm always asking what all these things kind of teach me and the way I go. And everything deteriorates all the time, because things and beliefs that serve me today will not serve me tomorrow. It changes all the time. And the things that serve me at 18 don't serve me today in 23, and I am sure that the thing that served me today in 23 will not serve me in the age of 30. And so I always ask myself, do the things that I do today still serve the person that I'm becoming or am currently? And it brings you to a lot of questions which you ask yourself, which are not fun to answer, which really kind of making you question yourself. But I think questioning yourself is important.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So you're in the middle of this cross world or just cross country?
Cross country. I'm actually I parked my car in Vegas. I'm finishing this cruise, traveling a little bit in Miami, and then going back to Vegas for a 10-day trip with my brother. And then I have a period of around 2 to 3 weeks alone, which I would say these are not the most joyous part of my trip, but I will say they're the most interesting part of my trip. I don't enjoy them as much, but I learn way more, and I experience way more. I've so far had 2 solo days, and out of all of them, I had very interesting experience throughout.
Where do you have a planned route, or are you just flying by the seat of your pants?
So I do like thinking on my plans, so they won't go too sideways. In the end of the day, I want to keep safe, and I have a family at home that worries about me. So I'm planning to go in Vegas, and we'll see what weather will allow. I'm planning to probably go all around Arizona, Nevada, just kind of all these hotter parts. And if I see the weather kind of fits right, and then I want to go travel more across America, I was planning to do a coast to coast. But as I'm coming back to Portland, so I may do go to Central North America and then start heading back there. I have until December, January, or if I'll decide, I can just keep going. But I think this would be a good time to kind of ask myself, okay, do I want to start trying different experience which require me to commit for a longer time?
That's really cool.
I mean, you've already done Florida at this point. But,
actually, no. Florida, I've been for 1 or 2 days, and I think there's a lot more exploring to do here.
There is a lot to see in Florida. It's it has its ups and downs. We live in Florida, so it's very flat and
hot and humid.
It's very humid and flat. And the problem with it being flat is you don't have a point of reference to see very far away, so everything feels very close. There's almost like a claustrophobia about it. Not that everything is close, but because everything's flat, you can only see down to the end of your street, and there's trees or houses or what have you. But when you then get to the water, because there are large open waterways and then sandbar islands along the coast. So you do have those instances where you can see far, but most of Florida has that. It just feels close, at least to me.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Coming to Florida and seeing it, you go to Nevada and you see all these vast...
Right, you see forever. We lived in Colorado for a year.
What? Where at?
Colorado Springs.
Oh, actually, I've got to be there a couple of times. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah. Fantastic. Right at the foot of Pikes Peak. You go to the outside of town, and it's just beautiful vistas for miles. Yeah. There's a solar farm 40 miles away that you can see at night.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I fell in love with
Colorado.
There's so much to do in it. I've been there for I think around 3-4 months, and I was going to trips from they were going out from camp, and even going to trips all the time. On my free time, I went to even more hikes and trips because there's so much to see, whether it's the Great Dunes, the rivers, or all kind of hidden gems around there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If your travels do bring you to Florida, obviously you'll have all the information for the show. But if your travels do bring you to Florida, you should definitely look us up when you get there.
At what?
Because you should definitely look us up when you get there.
I will. I'll take your information right after that.
Because,
by the way, another thing which it is a podcast. I guess you do it for the stories, and we were talking about comfortability and kind of how it affects your life and how dangerous it can be in settling. And I have another example which I'd like to share with you guys.
Okay.
Please.
So we talk about how it affects us and it keeps you in your comfort zone, and I would say it kind of stops you from inner growth in a way. And one example for that I have experienced throughout my life, which is actually one of my idols throughout life, my grandmother, which I will say basically held up our whole family, and from being in poverty and living from, we say in Israel, from the hand to the mouth. You never know when your next meal. You're always kind of working and worry that you don't know what will happen. She is originally from Egypt. And so I was seeing her going throughout the world, and she was always caring for people, always going out of her boundaries and out of her comfort zone to help the people around her, the family, the kids. She was working so hard to help her family that she was worrying about my grandchildren having it right to that point. And on many aspects, she was working her ass off like no woman did. And she told me about like old-fashioned story where she came to the mayor and grabbed a bride shirt and told him, "I have a family to feed. If you want to help me with my business, I'll burn your house down," or something like that, which will not pull through today.
Stand on business ground.
And she told us all these stories, and till the very last day of her life, she was going out of her comfort zone for others, yet never for herself. And she was never going out of her comfort zone in solving or resolving kind of problems which she had over with herself, or just things that were not quite right with her, or things that you gotta question: am I doing things right? And she was one of the most amazing, influential people I've had throughout my life. But the worst thing that my grandmother has ever done to me is not take care of herself and not getting herself out of that comfort zone.
Yeah.
She was trying within her reach, but I think that if she were to put more effort and time into it, the end of her life, which was actually not even a year ago, would be much more pleasant for us. Because for as much as she was the amazing, wonderful person that she was, caring for us, and she passed away surrounded by people who love and care for her, I always felt as though within herself, she was kind of lost, where she didn't take care of herself mentally, kind of, learning an instrument, reading, kind of doing things. She was always watching just kind of, how would I say, Turkish dramas.
Yeah.
And so her mind started to deteriorating, where to the point where she became demented and she could barely think and remember. She was not really taking care of herself physically, going out, kind of working out. She was doing hydrotherapy to kind of keep herself alive, but nothing more than that. And she could barely walk at the point of like the end of her life without having any accident or anything. Her muscles just went away, and she got to the point where she could barely physically move. And if I would want to take her out, it would be like a huge hustle.
Yeah.
And also caring for herself socially. We are social creatures. We must keep friends and kind of, having a hobby, developing yourself just in general. And she didn't have these kind of things, caring for the amazing family she built. And coming back to what I was saying, the worst thing she did throughout her life for me is not caring for herself enough. And it's easy to say because I have all the things she gave me, but I would willingly give up so many things just to see her happier.
Yeah.
And which I think, like this whole thing I'd like to sum up, is the most generous thing you can do for the things you care about or love is arrive to them wholly. And to arrive to them whole, you must first kind of
Be whole.
not be whole, but yeah, exactly. Kind of take care of yourself. It starts with you. Being whole, you cannot get it from anywhere around. It's only within you. There is also a sentence: you can bring a horse to the river, you cannot make him drink.
Right.
You can tell me all the strategies, all the ways, but if I'm not choosing to do so, it will never change. And so, kind of ending this topic of comfort, I would say it's really important to taking care of yourself, and taking care of yourself is inevitably getting out of your comfort zone. And it doesn't gotta be waking up at 5 a.m. It doesn't gotta be running around. It can be settled with asking yourself a hard question and just pondering upon it. And there's many ways of doing it, as my grandmother did, with going out of her comfort zone for people around her, yet not for herself. And it's always something to question on am I pushing myself more and more? Because eventually I come back to you. And this is why I like to say that comfort is a silent killer.
It kind of sounds like your grandmother's comfort zone was crusading for others.
It's so easy helping others and not saying I am wrong, I have problems, I have things which go with me that I need to fix, while how easy it is for you to come to a person on the street which you see is so broken and reaching out a hand, helping, talking.
My mother does that, and she'll give her last $5 to somebody when she can't afford to pay her rent this month.
And it's amazing and beautiful. Yet the best thing she can do for the people who love her, for a person like you, is to take a moment and say, I can invest these $5 in myself to get myself a nice book to read or something that will help me. And her telling you, you know, I just had the best coffee ever, that would make you smile. That would make you feel good because she invested in herself. Even these simple, shallow things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Enriching oneself allows you to spread that enrichment to others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like, I like to always look at it as you have a pot and it's filled with water. And the more you invest yourself, you get the pot bigger. The water comes and goes. You have energies, you wake up motivated, it changes. But the pot, you can kind of rebuild it, you can enlarge it. And if you don't invest in the pot, there is so much you can give to the people you love. And the more you invest in it, there is more for you to give for these people. And for all the hardship that I've gone through working on myself and for me being selfish and not caring for others, today I can care for others so much, like 100 times more than I could 3 years ago, because I took the time to invest in myself. And now for the people who I love, I can actually care for them even more. And the more I do it, the more I can care for them. And here comes like the problem, because, okay, so when do you stop investing in yourself and you invest in people? And when you stop investing in people and invest in yourself? And I think the key word is balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. You also, there's maybe an uncalculated benefit. You can care for the people you care, or you can provide for the people you care about in those ways. But also right now, two complete strangers. I'm getting so much value just from this conversation, because the experiences that you've had and the willingness you've had to just jump out there in the world and leave that comfort behind, it's inspiring and enriching, and like it's just been wonderful to hear about. There are people out there who are doing the things that the world seems to try and tell you not to do, against your better, against not necessarily your better judgment, but against what's good for you. The world is a very large place, and too many people spend their whole life not venturing more than 100 or 200 miles from where they were born.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like once you do it, it's crazy for you to see it. I just saw a post on Instagram saying there's some people who will never see the sunrise because it's too early to wake up. There's some people who will never see a mountain peak because it's too far to go up, and there people will never feel kind of the high after a workout because it's just too hard to work out. And once you do it and you achieve that end goal, which everybody see, which is this amazing feeling and everything, and don't see the hard work, and then you understand, okay, I can see why people put in such a hard work.
Yeah,
and
that reminds me of my favorite thing about Florida is, without getting on a plane or spending an absurd amount of money, you can watch the sun rise over the ocean and you can watch the sun set over the ocean in the same day.
It's beautiful. I when I was in Miami, I got to see it a little bit, and it was gorgeous to get a glance of that. And yeah, the fact that you have there is the luxury to having these things should never stop you from straying to having more, to experience more. I am enjoying Miami and the flat views and the sea and so many beautiful things around here, which are amazing. And then I'm saying, well, I gotta also kind of enjoy it as much as possible because I'm going to move back to Nevada, which I won't have that. And I'm always looking the beauty in what this place teaches me and what can I see that I cannot see in any other place. And let me tell you, I'm not people always like to call me and say, hey, are you having fun on your trip? And I'm saying, well, fun is a problematic word, because fun is subjective, but also saying I'm having fun would not be true, because I'm not looking for fun. I'm looking to experience. End of sentence.
Yeah.
And it's having fun, it's being happy, it's being frustrated, it's being mad, it's being curious, it's all these kind of things. And kind of running after fun would make it less fun. So running after experiences, I'm finishing whatever experiences. One day I accidentally found myself doing a 28-kilometer hike, finishing in 11 p.m. and it was very hard. I was very frustrated. I think I passed out in the middle of the trip for a moment.
Oh my God.
And coming back to it, I was like, what the heck just happened? It was not fun. It was very hard. And then I sat around and I was like, wow, looking back, that was crazy. And I suddenly did a night hike. And then suddenly I made people who were climbing up a mountain 10 p.m. to make ramen up in the top. And I kind of experienced... there was a weird moment where I stopped and I was with my flashlight and I decided to turn it off. And I had like a little bit of music because, it's dark in the woods, so I decided to turn off the music. And never in my life have I heard such silence inside a forest. And it was like for a moment fascinating, and a second later I was like, okay, I need to get moving.
There's a reason it's quiet.
Yeah, and saying like, yeah, it was fun. Yeah, looking back, it was fun having that experience, but it was scary. It was a lot of things, but not fun. But I'm like happy going through it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's another thing about my trip that I ask a lot of questions, which titles my trip has. And it's important to have these as a leading thing that kind of guides me into, okay, how do I choose? What do I want to do? How do I want to do? And how do I receive things? Which is also a big thing about this trip, which I think forward on in my life I'll take with every trip that I'm going to do.
Yeah. Everything you're saying just it reminds me of a phrase I heard a while back that living safe is just dying slowly.
Comfortability is a silent killer.
Yep. It's crazy. Well, that's amazing. Are you like journaling or documenting or blogging or anything about your journey, or are you just taking it all in and keeping it?
Actually, so after all that I've been through, looking back, you understand how much you don't really remember. Mm-hmm. And so throughout my military service, actually, I started journaling and writing things down. And every once in a while, I just jump back and I'm looking and like how much I forgot, how much I don't remember. We forget, I think, like, it's not like something that I check, but we forget most of our life.
Yeah.
And it's scary and it's crazy because there's so much I want to remember, so much that I've experienced, and forgetting it is crazy. I want to come back and tell to my mother and father and tell to my friends all that I've been through. I'm understanding that I'm going to forget most of it. And so I started documenting it in a way. I actually started with a journal, which I wrote down, which is very hard for me because I have a horrible handwriting and I'm thinking very fast. I'm very like, my brain works on 200%. And so trying to write down is really hard, but it gives me a moment to slow down and think what happened. But unfortunately, this notebook flew out in a highway, got ran over like a couple of times, and I didn't even notice it. And there was a lady nice enough to shout out of the window of like, it flew off, and I was like, I have like a storage on top of my car. Throughout this trip, it happened. And I was like, oh my God. And then I'm opening the roof, seeing, and it's still there. And she's shouting, no, it flew off. And then I said like, okay, stop aside. And we stopped and she ran onto me and she said, your book flew away. And then I remembered that I forgot my journal on the top of my car the night before. And she told me it's supposed to still be there. And I like right away drove over there and I saw it all like shredded apart in pieces, and I was like month of documenting everything, trying to really like take a moment to remember it and keep it for the future for me to read. Gone. And it was one of the most horrible parts of my trip, and then I kind of gathered around and I found the book, and it was not as ripped apart as I thought, and I actually could bring it back together, and only one page actually got ripped apart. which is
That's amazing.
that's crazy, and it was the first page, which was a bummer because I think it was one of the most meaningful page, kind of starting that journey, seeing me speaking. I was speaking about a girl I dated back then. I was speaking some experiences I had with loneliness, being around people, all kind of things. So I kind of remembered and I recreated whatever I could get from that page. But I have that actually notebook, which I'm recreating as we speak, just today, set on it, and moving it to my phone, so I have the document, and I started journaling throughout my phone. And another thing about journaling with writing down, there is so much you can actually grasp from these moments, because not only you forget like actually what happened, you forget how it looked or how it felt, and pictures and videos are actually an amazing way. So I started documenting. I have a highlight on my Instagram story that I have, and I always tell people it's more so for me, and only then it's to kind of let people know what's going on with me. So it's very personal at times, and it's very like there's a lot of pictures, but it's for me to remember. And then I have understood that also pictures, there's so much that they can capture in a moment, because you don't remember the laugh, you don't remember the noise, you don't remember the color and how everything moved around. And so the more and then I started taking videos here and there, and I've come to understand that videos grasp my feeling way better. They grasp how I speak, how like the wind in that moment, the darkness, and how it looked me moving around. And so I started documenting in video as well. And the more I try it, I'm like fascinated by how beautiful it is to come back to it and look at these videos and all these kind of things. And I'm actually, just yesterday, I was sitting down, calling people, as long as I had reception, to ask them what would be the best camera to kind of log around my life so I can document it in a way that would be easy and that I could save it. And I'm just... funny enough, we're doing it in a podcast right now, but it's interesting for me to kind of understand which would be the best way to document my life in a way that doesn't take away from the travel, yet still helps me grasp these moments. And I'm like started going a little bit into editing, like nothing that takes me more than half an hour. And for that, I got to sit down and also learn it. And it's fun to kind of get these things, and started to document this whole thing.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. You're not to disparage anyone else we've talked to, but I think you might be the most interesting person we've had on the show so far.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just like breadth of awesome stories.
I actually have an interesting thing for you that because we have a couple more days.
Yeah.
So talking about interesting things and people, you guys kind of go looking around and talking to people. Fun thing which I have throughout my journey, I have my own personal notebook, and one time I met a very wise person, which was so interesting to talk to, and I wanted to learn so much from him, and I really wanted to ask him to take a moment to think about something an advice that he would want to give his younger self, or just something personal that he would want to tell me that I should know, and for him to do so. And I wanted to give him my journal. Thank God I didn't, because now it's gone. I said, no, this is personal things, and I don't want them to feel uncomfortable and feel not okay to write or whatever. And so I actually purchased another journal, which I keep very dearly and very safe. That the whole point of the journal is there's a quote actually from Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is an amazing show, which I like.
Amazing.
One of life's greatest delights is having a cup of tea with a fascinating stranger. And I've come to understand that there's probably going to be... Yeah, shout out to Iro.
I have Iro on my...
Actually, you got to show me that later.
I really have a picture of it, but it's just I have a sticker of Iro. It's the scene where they're in the woods, just Iro and Zuko, and he's trying to determine if the flower makes great tea or is poison, and he's just staring at the flower. It's on the side of my helmet.
Oh my God, I know I want that sticker. It sounds like, I love it.
Sorry.
No, all good. I do it all the time. I enjoy these kind of conversations. And so... the whole point of so I purchased a journal, which its whole point I wrote in it just in the beginning, and I've kind of made an agreement with myself never to edit, never to touch, never to do anything to change it. And what I do is I give it to people I meet on my journey. So far, I think it's been 3, 4, or 5 with wisdoms, which whether they would like to personally tell me or just something they wish they would have come across earlier in life. There was like a whole section in the beginning explaining, hey, like if like how to do it, like a little format. But in the end of the day, it's a format just to give you a direction of what to do and how to do. But I always tell people, if you'd like to write me 3-word sentence and leave me with that, do that. And if you'd like to write down a whole book, do that too. I don't want to like close you up in a cage. Do whatever you'd like. And one thing about that is I am not allowed to read whatever they wrote me until our ways have departed. We departed from each other.
Yeah.
Which makes it very interesting because it takes off like the responsibility of them dealing with my reaction. I told them like, write it down and I will not read it until we are not with each other anymore. And it's been interesting things to read because it's different people, and sometimes they give sillier answers, sometimes they give deeper answers, and you never quite know what to expect. But it's always interesting giving the people like this book, because first of all, it's a beautiful book. It's like wine red, and there's like it's a nice one. I really wanted to invest in this one, so when I give it to people, they're like, oh wow. He took it with such care to buy a whole book, which looks very nice, and so people take the time to think, okay, I gotta put some effort into this one. Some people took a week, some people took like a couple of days, and it was quite interesting having it. And it's something that I carry with me, with the advice that people tell me, whether it's an advice which they wish they would have gotten to themselves, or something personal they would have wanted to tell me but couldn't so far. And actually, I think you guys would be an interesting, a couple of people to give.
Yeah.
Because I will say, for as much as you say, I'm very much so in my own comfortability. I think, like for me, sitting around with all that equipment, just waiting for people to cross by, this is not comfortable. You don't know who you're gonna come across. You don't know if it's gonna be like an annoying person or whatever happens.
It's much harder for Stephanie than it is for me.
It's very much out of my comfort zone.
Amazing.
I'm sociable to a fault. I will sit and talk with. I get it from my dad, and he is a monster at talking to strangers, and not in a bad way. He just he will have a conversation 2 minutes, 2 hours with a random stranger anywhere he goes. So this is very much it's how I get my fill of that. Like being out there in the world, because I, at 37 years old, I'm stuck in my comfortability to a point. I can't do the things I would really, really like to do, which is like I live in my truck, ride my motorcycle across the country for 6 months, and just roughing it, meeting strangers, all the things, like literally everything that you're kind of doing right now. I should have done it when I was 23 and I didn't. So
I think
talking to strangers gets me something like that
as well.
Well, I have a kid and 3 dogs and a mortgage, and I've kind of locked myself into the comfortability.
But because people like sometimes think big, like I want to do this 6-month trip and everything, but I agree. And you do have your responsibilities, which having a kid, in the end of the day, it is a responsibility. It's actually, I have a belief that you owe nothing to anyone throughout this world but your kids, because it's the only actual thing which you, of course, like, okay, maybe kids, animals, all the things which you take under your care. It's the only kind of thing which you have caged in a way and within your environment, and it's your responsibility, which I think you do owe him something. And the hard thing is they owe you nothing.
Right.
I think, and it's really, I was talking with my brother of it lately. He told me like our parents did so much for us and we owe them. And then I told him, well, I disagree. I think that if we were to owe them, it would not mean as much. I owe them nothing. I think I don't want to owe them anything, and they should not either, because then if I help them, it's not real help. It's because I owe it to them.
Right.
Is this why we want to do it?
Well, it's a bit of imbalance. They didn't ask to be born. So in bringing them into this world, you owe them the best possible life that you can provide, because they didn't ask for this life.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they didn't ask for this life. They don't owe you anything for bringing them to existence, because you gave them something they may not enjoy.
And it's a rough truth where, like, my mom, of course, was not enjoying hearing that, where I told her, like, yeah, I don't owe you anything. And it was... I would give the world to her, and I would do whatever within my reach to help her. But again, within my reach, and understanding what is within your reach and choosing your battles wisely is a very important thing. And it's not always easy. And coming back to my point where I kind of got off track, I think that getting out of your comfort zone doesn't have to be buying a car and leaving everything behind and going across the strip. It can be a way that you set yourself up for a trip of 1 week, and you kind of live that mindset. And you don't have to have that extravagantous, luxurious, amazing big vacation. Take a week. Take 3 days. Take whatever is within your reach that you can do. And it may unveil that you can do much more, and may unveil that you can't, and you can only do 1 day because you have a child at home. And maybe in the future you can test it again and actually try. But I think a lot of people look. They look at a business and say, "Oh, I want this amazing, huge business, and it's so beautiful." But a man that is moving mountains started with little rocks, and I think it's so important to find these little rocks which you can do, and taking a 1 day trip with your bike on this cool mountain that you like, and doing it, and then saying, "Oh wow, I actually could have done 2 days easily," and then doing these 2 days, and then oh wow, a week could 100%, like if I were play with my work right and plan everything, I can do a week. And then you find yourself doing things within your reach, and then you come to like 2 weeks and you say, okay, no, 2 weeks was too much. I have a child. It's not okay to leave it. Maybe in the future, but right now, a week would do just fine.
Yeah.
And
you heard him.
We heard him, yeah.
You heard him. I gotta take that motorcycle trip.
Dan's like, I'm planning now.
please do. I think.
Yeah, you think I'm just planning now? I've been planning for years.
Maybe like. People always think say go big, go this, go that, and I 100% agree with that. But when you have so many things in life, step by step, take baby steps and work towards it. And sometimes is doing this 1 day trip, and it's the first step to proving whether it's right or wrong, and testing how things work. I just yesterday had a conversation with a friend of mine, which I'm trying to reconnect. ADHD is horrible. We were talking about kind of him and the self-love he has to himself. And I kind of told him in a way that you gotta prove to yourself that you love yourself. And I'm not saying lie to everyone and go and do these things, but sometimes it starts with the little acts of love that you prove yourself, and it's kind of like the chicken with the eggs, because you don't believe in these acts of love. You're doing them blindlessly. But doing them blindlessly will eventually leading you to believe in doing so. And I told him the first actual act of love which I initiated was getting up in the morning, looking in the mirror and telling myself I look good. And I did not believe it at first, at all. I was looking at it and I just did it to do it. And I was doing it, and I started to invest more in, okay, I really want to look better today, so I dress better. So I put on perfume, so I started working out a little more. And one morning, there was a split second where I looked in the mirror, and I paused for a moment. I said, "I look good today." Like for a moment, it was kind of believable. Okay.
Oh, I actually do look good today.
I dress nicely. I have a nice smell. And then, the more I did it, the more I kind of looked for it, and I did it in my own reach. And I wouldn't tell you I look in the mirror and I'm saying oh, I'm the hottest guy around. No, but I say, yeah. I'm whole with myself. I look good. I'm happy.
Are you saying right now that you were not always this pretty?
No, I don't think so. To this day, I don't think I'm the prettiest guy around, but I do think that I put effort into my body. I make sure that I look neatly enough to kind of be presentable. And I look up in the morning and say, oh, I look good today. And sometimes I wake up and I say, oh, I look horrible. I need a haircut. It happens, and that's okay. And kind of being whole with that part and building up to it, and the chicken of the egg of okay, saying it, and then eventually you'll believe it because you say it every morning. Okay, so maybe today I'll put on perfume, maybe I'll fix up my beard, maybe I'll do this and this and this and this, and eventually it adds up, and you find yourself in a morning where you say, oh, okay, today it's a little bit believable. I had a nice haircut. And
you're manifesting your reality.
Yeah.
Manifesting, I'm not a religious person, but I always say I'm very spiritual. I'm not the one to pray to God, but I'm the one to pray. I take a moment, actually in this cruise it's been harder, but I take a moment to stop gaze at my plate and say, that's a nice meal. And that's so nice that I get to have running cold water with this nice meal, which I have unlimited amount of. And I can just have fun. And, you know, in these moments, I'm like kind of more joyful and I'm enjoying my food a little more because throughout my trips, I didn't always have that much food. And sometimes I had cold pasta, which was unseasoned and not well cooked. And I was just sitting there like, it's not the best food, but it's a food. And I'm happy that I'm eating because I've been starving for a while, and let's try it out. Which, by the way, me being hungry in trips is a way for me to discover new foods. I used to hate raisins, and I was going on this week-long trip with a friend, and I decided, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like, he asked me, do you want raisins? And I said, oh, I hate them, buy them. And he said, what? Then I told him, buy them, and we'll just eat them along the way. And now I like raisins because when I was starving, I was not picky, and I ate raisins, and today I'm just munching on them, and it's fun.
Yeah, if there's food in front of you and you're unwilling to eat it, you're not that hungry.
We have to. So our kid is 17, and we'll tell her all the time. She'll be like, "Oh, like I made something for dinner. And, oh, I don't like it." And I'm like, "Okay, then you don't eat." She goes, "Oh, you're gonna starve me." And I was like, "No, there's food. You're choosing not to eat it." And he's like, "You've never been hungry. You don't understand."
Tell me you've never been hungry in your life if you've without telling me you've never been really hungry in your life. Because I'll tell you what, that boiled chicken breast with no seasoning and no sauce starts looking real appealing after about day 3 of no food.
Yeah.
So I have okay, so coming back to within your reach, the little things. So this is what I talk about with my friend, and finding the things which you can do within your reach with a child, with a family, with a job, that you can still fulfill this dream partially is very important. And another fun fact, closing up this subject, fun fact today, I'm actually fasting.
On a cruise.
On a cruise, and it was a very hard decision. I woke up and I told okay, basically today, I wouldn't call it a holiday, but it's a day in Israel where it's called Yom Kippur.
Okay.
It's basically called the Day of Forgiveness, a day where you ask for forgiveness, where you kind of put a moment and only focus on that. And it is a tradition to fast on this day, to kind of only focus on it and to kind of be uncomfortable. And I don't fast for kind of religious reasons. I don't fast for forgiveness. I believe forgiveness is something that I ask for, and it's for my peace. And if there's anybody I feel comfortable with, I should not wait for one day of the year. I come up to them and tell them, let's speak.
Yeah.
There is something that I'm feeling uncomfortable. It's something that's bothering me that I would like to resolve. And so forgiveness is not, like let's say I ask you for forgiveness, it's not for you, it's for me. Mm-hmm. When somebody is coming and asking you for forgiveness, it's telling you more about themselves than it is about you. This is why it's asking. And so with this whole thing of like having unlimited food and beautiful luxury and being able to eat great food wherever and when I like, it's on the day of Kippur, on the day of like fasting, and I told myself, am I going to do it? Am I going to waste one day on a cruise where I have the vast, big amounts of amazing food? And then I decided, yes, especially now. Because if I'm fasting when I have horrible food, it's not as proving as when I have the temptation.
Yeah.
You're choosing scarcity amidst excess.
Yeah.
Exactly, and it means so much more when I do it when I'm surrounded by amazing food. And I've decided with myself today that I'm going to fast until 11 p.m. And only then will I be able to eat. And I may be asleep and only eat at breakfast, but
the pizza burger will still be open.
Yeah, they will, for sure. And it's also taking that moment of fasting, having that, being without it, makes me appreciate it that much more. And I know that the first food I'm going to eat after that 24-hour fast,
it's going to be the best.
Wow, I'm looking forward to it. And it was not a fun decision, and I'm not having fun right now. I'm feeling like my body's telling me, maybe that one slice. But it makes me be so much more grateful for food, and it reminds me of how uncomfortable it is to be hungry. And many times, another little tradition I like to do when I'm fasting is trying food that I know that I usually don't like, to kind of see how I like it when I'm fasting and I'm trying it out. I don't like it. Worst case, I'll wash my mouth with water and eat something, but like to try out new things.
That's awesome.
Adir, you are, again, like I said, I think probably the most interesting person we've had so far. And we could sit here and probably chat with you until the sun goes down. But we're already an hour deep.
Oh wow!
Remember we said like 15 minutes when you sat down?
Thank you for
This is
passing
what
the
happens.
fasting for me. I was going around the ship and I was like, okay, I cannot eat. I gotta find like something to do.
Yeah,
Conversation, reading a
absolutely.
book. Yeah.
Have you done the water slides yet?
Yeah, but I'm gonna do them again. Actually, I was right as I was going here. I was seeing the sun. I said that would be a nice thing to do.
Just go do all the things.
Yeah.
Distract your mind.
And another last recommendation, because you said you really enjoy the conversation, you really appreciate a lot of sides of me. One person, which actually built me up to that, a friend of mine and a coach called Don Maman. Right before my service, where I was questioning so much of my life, he was the one to kind of guide me through it. And he was the first person, I think, in my life to not come and tell me what to do, but guide me on how to help me to choose my own way in the things that I do. He actually just got a book of everything that he taught me physically and mentally in conversation.
Awesome.
I love this book. I personally, there's a lot of value in it if you choose to kind of see it.
I'll put that on my Kindle as soon as we get home.
I really like it. And everything we talked about comfortability kills dreams and doing things within your reach. It doesn't tell you all these self-help book of like, be happy and do this and do that. No. It tells you it's on you. It's very, very unforgiving book of telling you it's 100% on you. I'm going to give you the tools to do it. If you don't choose not to use them, that's on you. But I'm going to put it out there. And
Do you have your advice journal with you?
like for the people? No, it's in my room. But if you'll stay here for a little bit, I'd love to.
We're going to be down here till about 4 o'clock.
Amazing. So I'll give it to you, and I will.
Otherwise, when I edit this and I go to produce it, I'll put my wisdom in the intro, and you can just listen to it.
Yeah.
Pull it out from the ether.
Amazing. Wow. So I'll have it in book and on the podcast?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. I'm feeling honored. A whole section just for that. Well, I just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I think conversating with people is always thought-provoking and fun, kind of talking and seeing how people live their life in their own way. And for as much as you say I'm in my comfort zone, you'd be surprised how much you're not. For all that I've experienced and the people that I've met, doing something you love with somebody you love. That's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's been inspiring to see you. And I saw this whole thing, and I said, "Well, I gotta ask." When I was walking by, I saw it.
Honestly, it started as a tax write-off, but the more we do this, the more we get to have these kind of enriching experiences with people such as yourself.
Yeah.
So
It's been great.
It's just more motivation to keep going.
I could find you so many people in the gym, huge jack, going out of their comfort zone on certain aspects, but if I'll tell them, start a podcast, they'll look at me weirdly like, I have nothing to start a podcast about. And all these amazing, so impressive people, yet doing this would be funny for them in the way that why would I do such an uncomfortable thing doing that? And here you are doing it, inspiring me to having more conversation, maybe do something like that on my own. And thank you so much for this time. Thank you so much for going out of your way, improving yourself, thus inspiring me. And it's been a wonderful conversation, very fun. And I can't wait to listen to that podcast.
Yeah.
And to that wisdom. Actually,
That's it for now. We're at about an hour. So,
Until next time, calm seas,
clear skies.
skies.